I myself pretty much, I was talking about it before as well, pretty much just recovered from coming back from Slush, which was last week, which is this amazing Finnish event. And Johan was there this year. Actually, in 2013, he was the winner with this then new startup. He was the winner of their prestigious Slush 100 pitch contest. This year he was there on the main stage. I think he was appearing on stage 2 times, just 2 years after. Their app, FishBrain, is the biggest social network in their specific vertical, has 1.5 million users today, and is growing 5 times as fast as the second runner-up. They have, only in the US, a 60 million person user potential. So you got to think it like this. Fishing is a hobby that is larger than golf and tennis combined. The fishing industry in the US alone, and this can be a lot of numbers, but it's fun to compare, is worth 48 billion US dollars. That's just in the US. And that's just a fun type of fishing, right? And this is a great number, this 48 billion, to combine with the global music industry, say Spotify, which is 16 billion US dollars globally. So you got this one vertical in the US alone is 48 billion. I think it's amazing. I think it's just amazing how they found this niche. And we're going to spend a lot of time talking about how do you iterate towards this amazing space and how do you take it further. So, sweaty as he may be out of Slush, it's nothing compared to the 8 million US dollar VC round that he just closed, which is behind him now. And so I want you all to use all of that energy, and I want to hear a big, massive Startup Grind greeting for Johan Attby! Hook you up. Let's see, this is gonna go this way. Yeah, you good? And you get to do the fine-tuning kind of stuff. Say a word.
So good to be here.
Yeah. Hey! All right, you guys. You get to put that whatever you want. Again, within the boundaries of the law.
See what I can do.
Yeah.
And figure something out.
Yeah, so how'd that feel?
I like the crowd.
Yeah. Good people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Gothenburg for you right there. So before we get into it, let's talk about our crowdsourced interview, which is what you got here. So for everybody with the SmartUp, no, sorry, with this, give me wine. For everybody without a smartphone, get out of here. But for everybody with a smartphone, go in on slido.com, like right now, start moving, right? And put in the event code Startup Grind Gothenburg. That is GBG, my friend. By doing that, you're going to partake in posting questions as we go along. When you post a question, you can put it with your name or anonymous, whatever, doesn't matter. And then anybody else that sees that question rolling here will be able to like that question. You can add your own questions, but you can also like other questions. At the end of this, we take the questions with the most likes and we just work them down the order. So that way we all get like this crowdsourced interview thing going on, so we can all engage in the conversation. Make sense?
Sounds like that can be nasty.
Yes, it could, yeah. Goes fast and we're down back. So, but make sense for everybody?
Yeah.
Anybody need to borrow my smartphone?
No.
Good. You are at the right place. All right. So look, let's get to know each other a little bit. Start a little bit, family and background, and who are you?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
First of all, I lived in Gothenburg for almost 10 years. So I went to Chalmers University of Technology here. So techniques, physique, engineer, physics. So it's I've been here, love Gothenburg. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
I haven't been back here in a while, so this is I really honestly like to be here.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
a great city.
Yeah, big up for you, Gothenburg, man. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna make sure you move back like tomorrow after you're done with this event. You're just gonna go, yeah, what's the point? Let's just move back right now.
Can't stay here, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Oh, you may want to grab your family with you. We'll work that out. But actually, let's talk about how you know, because you started before God. You're from June.
I am.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm born and raised in. How many of you know where you is?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's what most people say.
It's about 50%. That's not too bad. That's
quite good.
That's actually quite good. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
So I'm born and raised on a farm. My parents are farmers, or at least my dad has a big farm. But I always loved mathematics and physics. So I was a cyclist for. By the way, I'm segueing in.
Yeah, we'll get that too.
That's just the way I am.
Yeah.
I've been a cyclist, a competitive cyclist for 10 years. I loved competing. I love winning races. I hated losing. I hate in general. I really hate losing.
Yeah.
So I really hate it. So I was that for 10 years. So I think that was my dream, to become a professional cyclist. I am so happy that didn't turn out that well. Because I got injured. That happens to a lot of athletes. So I had to do knee surgery, and so I was on. I had to do surgery, and I couldn't walk for 6 months. And I tried to get back in shape again. It was really hard because one of my legs was just in really bad shape. So it took a while to try to get back. So I decided to drop that career and went to start at Chalmers instead.
Yeah.
Which was the best thing I ever done. So I'm so happy that I'm not in Tour de France or Giro d'Italia, because I think that even though the likelihood of becoming a successful entrepreneur is slim, it's very small. I think it's even less likely that you become a professional cyclist and with all the doping and all the shit going on.
All the heroes are just crumbling.
Yeah.
So the fun part about that part of the story for me is that there is no fishing at all in there, right? Right? You start with, you go, I'm in a farm. It's like everybody's going. Any second now, fishing is going to come into his life, and he's going to be like, I'm going to do fishing. But no, techniques physique, I like to count. Yeah.
Exactly. I like numbers. 1 + 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So and then you and then Silicon Valley and Boston.
But I had after I finished, I went through techniques physique pretty fast. And I had an aspiration to become a researcher, so I went directly to become a PhD student in complex dynamical systems and artificial intelligence. So I spent a year in Copenhagen. It's a lot of fun. They have a lot of beer, which is good. Beer is fine. Fantastic in Copenhagen. It's a great school, Niels Bohr Institute. Yeah. And then I spent some time in the States.
Right.
But then it was early 2000s, and I got really tempted to start a company, because that was during the first boom and the first hype. So I saw some of my best buddies, they quit to start their software companies, and I felt so tempted to try it out. So I dropped out. I will never I'm not trying to do a refat here. I never got my PhD degree. It's not going to happen either. So, I dropped out in 2000 to start my first software company.
Right. That's in 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah? And how was that compared to having a startup now?
Oh, it's totally different.
Right.
Because I think I probably wrote the shittiest business plan I ever made.
Right.
And I got 5 million SEK.
Yeah.
Almost immediately. Not kidding. This is just, I had a really bad idea. And not a bad idea, the idea was great. It turned out into a good company.
Right.
But I think I was a first-time entrepreneur, straight out of my PhD studies, knew nothing about business, never been to business school, never done anything before. So probably not a very good idea.
Right.
We had a good team. That was about it. Yeah. And a couple of months, I got 5 million SEK. So things were absolutely really crazy back then. And it was a lot of things. First of all, you had I would say the entire ecosystem was it was first time for everyone, for the entrepreneurs, for the investors, for the advisors, so everyone in the ecosystem was, it was the first time for everyone.
Right.
So I was bad, but most people were even worse than I was.
Right.
So it was, it was crazy back then.
Yeah, but it turned out quite well though, right? So
did.
what happened with that company? Just you skip through like two.
I think one of my best accomplishments was that we quickly grew the company to 30 people. And when the bubble burst in was it 2002 or something, 1-2. Of course, we had much higher burn rate than we had income.
Right.
But we managed to get the revenues quickly. The company almost went out of business into bankruptcy twice. We had 30 people. Didn't have salaries to pay 2 times. Right. And I think we waited for 3 weeks one time to pay the salaries. No one left. We had a fantastic culture at the company. No one left. People borrowed to each other. They helped each other out.
Okay.
So it's we turned the company profitable. So it's I moved to the Valley, to Silicon Valley, 2006. Not so much because we needed more customers. It was just that we were still a pretty small company, 30 people. And no one in the Valley will ever notice us unless someone is actually physically present there.
Right.
So I moved over there, brought a team of 10 people there, Americans.
Right. In order to build or fund, or what was the purpose?
It was a mix of, first of all, getting noticed, because eventually, if I wanted an end of this, an acquisition, most software acquisitions, I think 98%, a very high number of acquisitions happen in the States.
Right.
A US company acquires a company, and to be on the radar screen on the potential acquirers, you have to be there.
Right.
Unless you're super big, then they would notice you anyway.
Right.
But this was not a company that would ever be super big.
Right. And
so it's.
And so just because one of the good folks that's been at a couple of Startup Grind, Jonas, where you at?
Talking to me?
No, but hi Jonas. No, another Jonas. So maybe we should wait with this question, because he's like, yeah, like make him cry, right? Find something.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, that. Yeah.
that's Jonas.
Right. So let's find a flesh wound, and let's like pour some salt in it, and then really go deep. And sounds
like a great plan.
No, but, in that you have the story of not paying salaries. Great team, right? But how did that feel for you? In terms of like figuring out.
Yeah, it feels super bad. It's running a startup is an emotional roller coaster. There are so many downs. There are a few occasional ups, but mostly downs. So it's with the family and everything. It really wears you down. It's there are some really nasty days when you run a startup.
Yeah. Can you remember one of the worst ones ever?
Yeah, I think I have a couple. I have a couple, and I have a couple of runners.
In any of the companies, right? In any of the stuff that you've ever done in terms of startups, what was like your worst day of despair?
I think it was actually one day when we were actually thinking about filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And I'm not making this up, it was that close.
Yeah.
We were out of money.
Yeah.
We hadn't paid salaries.
Right.
Everything looked amazingly shitty.
Yeah.
There were very few positive. The rational side of me, if I listed pros and cons, the list of cons was like this, and the list of pros was something like this.
Yeah.
So I did not feel well that day.
And what made you not do it?
I think the winner mentality. I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to fuck that one up. I really wanted to win this one.
Yeah.
So I felt I had a sliver of hope. There was some part of me, very small part of me, thought this could still be something big.
Right.
But it was a really small part of me.
So the entrepreneurial curse that they talk about, right? The eternal optimism.
Yeah.
But so in your case, that was actually a good move.
Yeah. But I think the odds was really against me. If I was in the same situation again, I'm not sure I would make the same decision.
Right. What has changed?
I think I'm still a stubborn, so that has not changed a little bit. I'm still the same myself. But I think it's with all the energy you are when you run your first company, you have a lot of you're super naive, which is a good thing, because if entrepreneurs are not naive, you will never get anything done. You only see the obstacles and everything.
Right.
You need to have the passion. You also need to be naive, actually, to don't see all the potential obstacles. But I think I'm a little bit different today.
Right. And did you find any energy from anywhere else except for in your own stubbornness to push through in that moment?
No, not really. Good support from my family.
Yeah.
It's family and friends.
Right. Who's your how does your family look like?
I got a wife, 2 kids,
Nice.
4 and 8.
4 and 8.
Yeah.
So busy, right?
Yeah.
At that time, there was just a wife then, right? 'Cause
Yes.
It was more than 8 years ago.
Yeah, girlfriend.
Okay, a girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So you got support to push through from her.
Yeah.
Any personal mentors or like?
I would say my dad.
Yeah.
He's been my strongest supporter. And being a farmer, that's today it's super complicated these days.
Right.
Because it's buying and selling. It's trading the harvest and everything. It's super complicated.
Right.
It's very technical these days and everything. So he's been my biggest biggest role model for me.
Super interesting. Super. Do you feel that you model him? Do you feel like at some times in your life that you, knowingly or without knowing, you do what he would do?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh no, not really.
Interesting.
I think I'll take more risk than he's ever done.
Okay.
So I'm more of a risk taker than he takes risk.
Right.
But I think 10 times as much risk as he does.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. All right. So look, then you managed to sell the damn thing, and you get put into solitary confinement for a year and a half. So what happened there? And where are you? Like, where are you in time now, and what are you doing?
So in 2011, I managed to get Microsoft up in Seattle as a customer for that company.
Yeah.
And the only rational thing to do at that point in time was to sell the company. I seriously mean it, because it wasn't a scalable business. It was a good, solid business, profitable business, but it wasn't something that could quickly scale.
Right.
And if you get a customer like Microsoft, trust me, they're super demanding.
Right.
So they take a lot of attention from you and everything. Of course, it was a fantastic customer to have.
Yeah.
Reference customer, Microsoft. It's pretty darn amazing.
Yeah.
But still, the rational thing to do was to sell the company.
Yeah.
So we did.
Yeah.
So hired a banker and had a little bit of a process, and a company in Massachusetts, a little bit outside Boston, acquired the business.
Right.
So took family from, sadly, leaving the valley.
Yeah.
Palo Alto is a great. If you haven't been there, go there. It's a fantastic place. San Francisco is nice too.
That was the worst moment. No.
It was sad. It was, so moved over, locked in for a year and a half.
Right.
Initially, they wanted me for 3 years. That was a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I would stay with a big company for 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't have that in my DNA. I'm not a big company guy. I hate it.
Yeah.
And I felt it almost immediately that this is not a place where I want to grow up or stay for more than
The 1.5 years that you had to. Was there a moment in that where you said, no, you just hated it all the time? No.
Hate is a strong word.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't have that in my DNA. It's just that I had high ambitions.
Right.
So when I got there for the first 3 months, I tried to change the company or to do good stuff.
Right.
But then I got so tired because nothing happened. And this was a company with thousands of employees, and I ended up being on the executive management team of that company, and I really tried to get things done, but it didn't turn out that well.
Right.
So it's
So you have this, now you have a year and 3 months left.
Yep.
And what do you do with your time?
So a lot of skiing.
Yeah.
I got to see Massachusetts, Vermont. We traveled a bit.
Yeah.
So had good fun with family.
Right.
We had our second baby.
Yeah.
And then I am an entrepreneur. I love building stuff.
Yeah.
So really felt I did a little bit of angel investing. I joined a few boards. I was an advisor to a couple of companies.
Right.
But I don't like being on the sideline.
Right.
I like running stuff. I like building stuff. I like to be part of. I want to be in the heat. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the sideline. I want to be where the action is.
Yeah.
I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
For good and for bad. So I started to think about, okay, what can I do next? I felt either I start a company on my own again, or I join another company. I joined a small team. I don't necessarily have to start from scratch initially.
Right.
So now this is the engineering side of me, the analytical side of me. So first of all, I was looking at the macro level. What are the trends I see? What are the trends I truly believe in?
Right. So like global trends.
Global trends at the macro level. And in general, I'm very, very bullish about deep social networks.
Right.
Because we live in a more connected world. But if you look at the social platforms that exist today, of course, Facebook being the biggest one, you have Instagram, you have Twitter,
Yeah.
you have Path.
Where was the world of social networks then?
It was mostly 2011. It was Facebook. It was
Right.
pre Instagram, pre Path. I think Path had started.
Right.
Early days of Twitter. It was mostly Facebook.
Yeah.
But if you look at the content on the social platforms on Facebook, it's very shallow.
Right.
If you have kids, you see a shitload of pictures of kids. Don't show me another baby on Facebook. I'll throw up. And pets. And it's a lot of party picture. People get drunk together.
Yeah.
Very, very, very shallow content.
Right.
So my thesis was that if you have, I think there's an opportunity to actually to create verticals.
Right.
Because if you have a passion for something, if you have a hobby, doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
If it's Frölunda hockey, or if it's gardening or handicraft or whatnot,
Right.
you want to share your activities, your adventures with like-minded and not with friends.
Right.
Because you don't share your hobbies with lots of your friends. So I started to look into that, and in general I believe in that, because when something gets really big in society, really, really big, like Facebook was already very big at that time,
Right.
then there's an opportunity to slice it and to create verticals.
Yep.
And you can often make higher margins when you go into a vertical than something very broad.
Right.
So I wrote an article about deep social networks in a Silicon Valley blog called Pelner Daily, and I got really good, a lot of feedback from that blog post.
Right.
So from people that are certainly smarter than myself, which is, by the way, not so hard. So it's investors in this.
I'm not so sure though, but okay.
So some of the best investors in Silicon Valley say, "Hey, I think you're onto something. This looks super interesting." So I decided I actually want to build a deep social network.
Right.
This was in 2011.
Right.
But I didn't know which one. Of course, on top of my mind was to do this for cycling, because I've been a cyclist before.
So you thought it's a deep social network
yeah,
for cycling?
for cyclists. So I looked into that. Didn't see the market being big enough.
Right.
Because you don't want to share your activities if you take the bicycle to work.
Right.
What's the social thing in there?
Right.
You don't really want to share it. You don't want to really get deep in that. I don't think so. Maybe a few people.
Today I'm like 2 kilometers.
Yeah. Or I missed a red light or something like that. It doesn't get more exciting than that. I almost got killed by a car or something like that, exactly. Which happens every day. Yeah. So no, I decided not to do that. Yeah. This is, again, I was so lucky there, because there was a company starting in San Francisco at the same time that did exactly this.
Yeah.
They're called Strava.
Right.
And now they're 100 people, super profitable. Sequoia did their Series C or Series D round.
Nice.
Yeah.
In that vertical.
In that vertical.
Right. And you say you're lucky.
Yeah, because it's really hard. If I start a company and all of a sudden I competed with a super well-funded company in San Francisco,
You're dead.
You're dead.
Yeah.
It's as brutal as that. So, but I got to know there are two founders of the company, so I know one of the two founders really well. So I'm benchmarking FishBrain against Strava, which is great. Perfect. So then I looked into, okay, which vertical should I go after? Then luckily I just by accident stumbled upon an article in Forbes listing the world's 10 biggest hobbies. Right. And on top of that list was sport fishing. Oh my goodness, I know nothing about this. So I started to look into the market and interviewed with a lot of fishermen, a lot of anglers.
So you did all of this on your free time?
Yeah, on my spare time.
On your spare time during the confinement?
Yeah, I think I worked 40.0 hours a week at the companies, which means I had 40 hours left.
Right. Compared to your normal?
Compared to my normal day, normal week.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you were bored, right? And then you have
I was super bored. Yeah, I can only do that much skiing, and it's hard to do more kids. It's one baby at a time is enough. So it's I was after the second one, I was pretty done with that. so
there are apps for that, but
I know.
Yeah. So but did the boredom part also, just coming back to you, Jonas, here in terms of so suddenly you're like home a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Life changed.
Yeah.
And I promise we're going to get back to the FishBrain red thread for sure. But like, did that also change how you guys were like interacting at home and the roles with, now you got kids, you got a wife, and you were like never home, and now you're home. And
yeah, absolutely. And I spent way more time with family than I've ever done before.
Yeah. So positive, or did it become a pain in the ass as well? For her, or him, or the kids, or something?
Good for the kids, pain in the ass for her.
Yeah.
Because she was at home because we had our second baby. So she was at home, and I was there interfering and screwing things up, and so I think I was.
So the dynamics really changed.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So then you started to put a lot of extra time into this thing.
Yeah.
Dynamics got better?
I think it was great for family. I think it was definitely great for family.
More kids coming. Okay, so you found this, deep social network. You mentioned to me that like super geeky people really like bragging a lot about what they do, and you found this out in a process.
Yeah, I think it's. I think I found probably the best vertical to go after.
Yeah,
because it's super nerdy.
Yeah.
So our users on FishBrain have really deep discussions.
Right.
You can really, I'm using this reel, I'm using this rod, I'm going to these places, have you used this lure? Right. So there are a lot of stuff to discuss, different techniques and everything. So it's a very complicated thing.
Right.
And they spend an enormous amount of time and money. That's why the market is so big, because they spend both the time but also the money on their passion, on the hobby. So it's really geeky. And I think everyone heard the story about the fish was this big,
right.
Starring food with Hemingway and the Old Man and the Sea, and everyone wants to brag about their catches.
Right.
And even more so today than before, because a lot of our users they don't keep the fish. They practice what's called catch and release, because everyone really promotes sustainable fishing. No one wants, of the recreational fishermen, no one wants to overfish. They really want to protect the species and everything. So they catch the fish, but then they put the fish back in the water again, which is called catch and release.
Right.
And then, of course, they want to take a picture or record a video, because that's the only social proof point that you actually caught the fish.
Exactly.
Then everyone exaggerates the weight a little bit. Was this a 10 kilo? Then it was 11.5.
Right.
So it's
so you actually see the stuff that there is a lot of.
Yeah, trust me, there's a lot of comments. That fish is not 5 kilo. That's only 4.9.
Right.
Yeah, right.
That's funny.
So it's yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you identify this vertical. You're in Massachusetts. And then you are FishBrain, that is registered a company out of Frölunda.
Yes.
By the way. So let's connect those two dots. How does that happen?
So it's terribly lonely to start a company on your own.
Yeah.
So I was looking for co-founders. You don't want to start a company on your own, because there would be so many downs. You want to have some people to share your experiences with. and also people that comes with different backgrounds and everything. So I was looking for who do I start a company with, and then I again randomly when I did my due diligence, I stumbled upon two guys in Gothenburg here that started a online social community called FishBrain.
Right.
And no mobile application, it was just a website. And so I didn't really believe in their business.
So you were just generally searching the web?
Yep.
And out of all the places in the world?
Yep.
You know, in China, you find Gothenburg, where you're from. It's perfect. I mean, you've been here.
Yeah.
So that's like statistically for
no. Yeah,
okay.
I don't know what the odds are that I find two guys in Gothenburg. I think they're pretty slim.
Yeah.
So I flew over a couple of times, met with the guys.
You're still living there, but
I was still living there. So I flew over, met with the guys, did a little bit of dating, because when you start a company with someone, you really want to make sure that you have the right gut feeling, that you like the persons.
Right.
Because you know you will be engaged for the foreseeable future.
Right.
It's almost like a marriage.
Yeah.
Chemistry has to be right.
Yeah.
So we did a little bit of dating.
Yeah.
And we had the complementary skills. And some similar backgrounds, but one of the guys also went to Chalmers.
Right.
He went to the School of Entrepreneurship there.
Right. Yeah.
And the other guy was a professional designer. He worked at Telia Sonera, doing mobile design there.
Perfect.
And they were running FishBrain on their spare time, so both had day jobs.
Right. So like, take me through one of the times you visited them to kind of make sure the chemistry works and that kind of thing. Was it a one-day thing, or did you spend some days with each other? Did you go out for beers? What did you do?
Definitely, everything.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time, because this is not a decision you do overnight.
Right.
So we spent time together. Of course, they were skeptical. Who's this guy?
Yeah, they must have thought you're super weird, right?
Yeah. I am weird, but they really thought I was weird.
Just saying.
Of course, you can just say. So yeah, of course, I flew over, met them. We had beers.
You kind of realized
we met several times. I really wanted to know what's their vision, because if you don't share the vision, you should not start a company together. So that was super important, because I didn't believe where they were today.
Right, with the web.
Because
you're not on the web.
No, it's of course we're not. We're now FishBrain is mobile only.
Yeah.
The web is dead.
Yeah.
Mobile is everything now.
Yeah.
So we kill the web, and no one misses it.
Do you think that's more specific thing for your vertical, that they're out and about?
No.
Just web is dead.
Yeah.
Nice. That's going to be a lot of discussions about that. But intuitively, right? So the only way that makes sense to the statistical mind is that, so you were looking at the world, mobile only, and you want to create this super cool thing in this biggest vertical you can imagine, and out of all of the places with the billions of people you found Gothenburg, it can only really mean that they're freaking amazingly smart people in Gothenburg.
Probably so.
Just saying. Yeah. Welcome, Stockholm. Yeah, because but nonetheless, right? Then you did some stuff, and you built some stuff, and then you moved to Stockholm.
Yes.
And what the hell is up with that?
So that's a really good question. So So the reason was I knew I needed a lot of capital to build this company.
I'm taking notes on this one, man.
I needed a lot of capital, because when you go after a vertical, it's super brutal, because there will be one winner, everyone else will lose.
Yeah.
Everyone else will lose. There will be years before we would be profitable. So I knew this was one of the cases. That is not true in general. There are a lot of cases where you can get away with some smaller investments, some angel funding, and then you can. I've done some angel investing in companies that very quickly become profitable.
Right.
If you're a B2B and you have a SaaS model, you can really bootstrap that and do MVPs and really quickly get off the ground and be profitable. I like those ideas.
Right.
But with FishBrain, there was either you needed the money and
go big or go home.
Go big or go home. And the way it is today, unfortunately, the only place in Sweden today where you have access to a lot of capital is Stockholm.
Right.
So we have We have Nordzone as the lead investor. So for FishBrain now, I raised about 100 million SEK.
Right.
In a couple of rounds. And in the latest round, it was 67 million SEK. And led by Nordzone, and we had an investor from Japan. We had a New York City-based investor. But I really needed an anchor, and that was Nordzone.
Right.
So it's hard to get a big round, unfortunately.
Right.
I need to change that, to get a big round done in here in Gothenburg.
Right. And so, how do you get to that point where you go and talk to Nordzone about, well, I have this fishing app I want to talk about?
Yes. I'm not known for being, you're not either, I'm not known for being shy.
Right.
So it's, I contacted once, I wanted the money from.
Right.
And there were a couple, I had a short list. That's something all the entrepreneurs should spend more time on doing homework on the investors. I always do reference calls on the investors. They do reference calls on me. Of course I do reference calls on them.
Right.
I don't want to have investors that I can stick with for a long time.
Right.
So yeah, I super encourage you to do reference calls on your investors. So I had a short list, and it's very hard to get when you get we did a 16 million SEK seed round.
Right.
It's hard to get that done, getting international investors in a seed round.
Right.
You need to raise money locally. And so I only had a few options in
Sweden that can handle that.
Sweden that can handle that. And so yeah, so I talked to the shortlist, and did a little bit of dance with them, and then they opened up the wallets and paid. They paid up.
That's really nice. Just one more thing, and then maybe we can start going. I know about schedule things. So you've literally been around the world, right? And you have this opportunity, this idea, and you want to go where the capital is. But this time you didn't go to Silicon Valley and move the team there and all of that. You actually went to Stockholm.
Yeah.
What was the reasoning around that?
I think it was 50-50. Either we moved the company to the valley, or we built a company in Sweden.
Right.
And I think we're at the point now where it's actually crazy starting a company in Silicon Valley.
Right.
Because it's actually insane over there. I spend 1/4 of my time over there. I still spend a lot of time in the valley.
Right.
FishBrain, we have most of our users are in the States. We focus 100% on the States.
Yeah.
But it's really insane over there, because there's a war for talent, and you have to pay them a lot of money. And you're competing with Apple, you're competing with Elon Musk at Tesla, you're competing with Google. You're really competing with companies that can pay up.
Right.
And that's a problem, because you don't have a lot of money. You want to be conservative with your money. You want the money I raise, I want to have as long runway as I possibly can with the company,
right.
with the money. But also there's a big problem today, I say, with employees are not that loyal. They stay for 12 months, and then they vest some of their stock options, and boom, they're gone. I would do the same. If I was 20 and a developer, and I was in the valley, I would also hedge my bets, because that's essentially what they do. If you can work for 10 companies for 10 years, 2 years at every company, you will have stock in 5 companies.
Right.
That's really hedging your bets, because it's really hard to know who's the winner and who's not.
Right.
No one has the crystal ball. Look at the track record of the best investors in the world. Kleiner, Sequoia, Andreessen Horowitz. They do a lot of mistakes. They don't just put money in winners. You only hear about the winners, but for every unicorn, there are 99 or 9 losers or something like that. So 90% are losers. You only hear about the unicorns.
Right.
So if you're a developer or in the startup ecosystem, I would also do the same. Luckily, it's not the same way in I was in Scandinavia.
Yeah.
And please are more loyal. They stick with you for a longer time, which is really important, because what can you really do in a year? We have a long vision, and I want to have people to be with me for the next 5 years. to really build something amazing. It's really hard if I have to hire every 12 months. I need to rehire for every position. It's cost a lot of money and energy and everything. So I think I think Atomico, the London-based VC firm started by Niklas Zennström. Yeah. I'm still recovering from his party last at Slush. It was a hard one. I think they last year published a great report that there are more unicorns in per capita here in Sweden than anywhere in the world besides Silicon Valley. Yeah. So they're not the only investor thinking it's inflated. The valuations are insane and everything is insane over now in the valley. So they actually make investments outside the valley, not in the valley.
Right.
So
super interesting.
But it was a tough decision. Yeah. This was 2012. Now it's 2015. So we've been with FishBrain now. We've been going with FishBrain for 3 years.
Right.
In 2012, it was 50-50. Now I would absolutely start a company in Sweden and not in the valley. No way I would start a company in the valley.
Super interesting. Well, let's come back after the break and talk more about how we get Sweden to narrow down to Gothenburg. But you want to take the mic?
Quick applause.
Sorry?
Quick applause.
Quick applause!
So before we go on break, we're going to do what we call running of the mic, which is an opportunity for you guys to introduce yourselves. Who you are, what you do, and what you can help others with. We also would like your feedback for the events, like what you want to see more on the events, and stuff like that. So, if I start, my name is Philip Askviken. I run Startup Grind, I run a startup called Metapic, and I can give you the mic. So, who wants to introduce themselves?
Alright, this was a little not what I was thinking I was going to do at night. Anyway, I'm on my spare time, I have free time, I'm trying to build a marketplace for aerial photography or aerial filming. So I'm going to be the guy tomorrow to give the producers what they need from the aerials and the ones who fly. The gigs.
Victor, what's your name, man?
Victor Peterson, Victor Productions.
All right.
Nice.
We'll find me on the way.
All right, next one. And we'll add some feedback on that as well. One back there.
Hi everyone, great event by the way. My name is Amir Mofidi. I run one startup with 2 sites. We do marketplaces for different segments. The first one is what you call a Zakta clone, bokavård.se. And we're launching the same concept for beauty, so hair salons, nail salons. Visit glamma.se as soon as you can. We're launching that right now. If anyone needs help with product or sales, just holla.
Any feedback for Startup Grind there?
Sorry?
Any ideas for Startup Grind or feedback?
This is my first event and loving it so far. So.
Awesome, thank you.
All right.
Next one.
Hi, I'm Hermina Grozanich-Kelly, and this is my coworker, Michaela Karlberg. We're from the law firm Lindahl, and we work with IP, IT, and contracts, and we can help you with any legal matters. And this is our first time here, and awesome so far. Loving it.
Hey.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Mimi Billing. I'm a reporter working at the Digital in Stockholm. So I'm here just checking out the Gothenburg startup scene. So if you have a great idea and you are business in the cloud, come and talk to me.
Right. We were actually going to do a secret competition, which would be Find the Reporter, but now it works.
That didn't work out.
Everybody gets to pitch in any case.
Anyone else?
Once again.
I am home.
Hi, my name is Peter. I'm running this place, Entrepreneurial Hive, and we are looking for people that can help out. Basically, we are looking for community hosts, people who want to hang out here, work here, and meet other people. So if you know anyone or if you're interested, please contact me. And of course, we can help you with a really cool workspace. So if you want to join a really cool co-working space in the center of Gothenburg, you're welcome to come here. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Next one. Anyone else? Yeah, great.
Hello, my name is Yuri Vuorilehto, and please remember that. I'm working at Caperio, and I'm selling IT infrastructure here in Gothenburg. So if you need any help with the basics, you can contact me.
So,
Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Larissa and I run a fishing business.
Wait.
Woo! And actually I'm now getting into advertising, so I really want to hang out with some advertisers around here, getting into business a little bit more, and this is my first event here and I really like it.
Hi, my name is Nico Livas, and I work engineering physics. I work with embedded systems.
I like you already.
Yeah, embedded systems.
you guys talk the same language.
Yeah, Estonian? No. So yeah, embedded system design, prototyping, and yeah, event engineering at .se. Yeah, cool.
My name is Jonas. I'm having a reach out here. Anyone have contact at Netflix? If you have that, you will get contact at any of the other subscription services in the world. Because we have everybody else without Netflix.
What do you do?
I know the ex-CFO at Netflix.
You guys should talk.
He's not the CFO for Spotify, so he's in Stockholm now. So he quit Netflix.
Then we got 2 days.
Sweet. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Kenneth, and I run a small business here in Gothenburg with electronic engine sounds. So it's called Sound Racer. You plug it in your car, and then you drive like a Ferrari or a Mustang. So I ran that for 5 years, and we sold about 140,000 of them around the world. And then I came into the electronic engine sounds for electric vehicles. So we sell to Tesla owners and Zero motorcycle owners and those who don't want to drive a silent electric vehicle. And I'm actually looking for some good entrepreneur or entrepreneurs who can help me grow this business, because right now I'm alone. I have a few angel investors, but it's a still small market, and it's not the situation to hire a lot of good people. So if you feel like starting up something that can be big, the electronic engine sound for electric vehicles will be a 2 billion kronor market in 5 years when there is laws in place. In Europe it's 2019, than in the US and Japan a couple of years earlier. And every electric vehicle must have a warning sound up to about 30 kilometers an hour. So I also have a small task. Anyone good at improving Windows program in Visual Studio to make a better user interface for the program that you make the sounds for these both type of products. This is the new product for the consumer business. It has 6 sounds that you get with it: Harley Davidson, Lamborghini, Ferrari.
Can we test one? Like
how does it sound? How does it sound? Yeah, I can show you. I have a speaker with me there. So.
What happens if you press the button on it right now?
The red buttons are for the frequency of the radio, but that button is for loading the next sound.
Okay, so it doesn't make a sound right now if you would just press it. Okay, you gotta plug it in. Got it. Yeah.
Do you want to have it on the inside of the car, not on the outside? You want to listen to it when you're driving?
For the electric vehicles, it's on the outside. It's a warning sound.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not sure I want to have it on the inside.
This is on the inside through the car stereo. So.
Yeah. So you have a dude sitting in an Opel experiencing a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Love it.
Driving experience is greatly improved, yes.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Thank you.
All right. Last one. Anyone else? All right. Let's go for Fika. Let's be back in 30 minutes, so that's 20 past sharp.
Yep.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll hook you up. All right. So look, we're gonna chat a little bit. As always, we are smack on schedule.
Yep.
And we're gonna talk a little bit more, and then we're gonna make sure to jump to those amazing questions we got up there. And we're gonna see if we can, I don't know, I'll read them, yeah, right? They're gonna be good, and I'm sure that Jonas right there pulled a real bloody one, and then everybody voted for it, so, yeah. So, just to get into the mood, a little bit philosophy and what's next, right? So, coming at it from the angle where, you know, I feel that you did, which is you looked at macro level, right? You found this great product market fit kind of thing. And so there's got to be a philosophy around that, a way of thinking that drove you to actually at all do that. What is that for you? How do you think?
I think today it's very competitive. It's the word is super global. It's very competitive. So the way we think about things, or I think about things, is you better do something that people love, won't do the trick anymore. That was okay a couple of years ago in many industries, in the app industry and other industry. If you did something that was okay, fine, you were good. You could grow. Not so much today. Right. You really need you have to do something that people love. So it's we've seen that at FishBrain, and I think that's true in general. The more you focus, doing something smaller, doing it better, very, very, very good. Then we see numbers kick in, and we see accelerator growth and everything. But if we get too much stuff, adding too many features, making a UI UX that nobody understands, things like that. So it's the more we can stay focused, the better it is. But that is one thing that is super easy to say, but really hard to execute on. I think we were, in the beginning of FishBrain, we were sloppy. Right. We did too many things. I was also, it's still naive, because this is 3 years ago. In the beginning, you got away with doing okay. But now we have more fierce competition, not with so much with other fishing apps, but in general, because we're competing with people's time. Everyone, unfortunately, only has 24 hours a day. I wish I had more. Right. So you're competing with the people's bandwidth. So I think the winner in the future, we already see this happening, are the ones that really become your daily app, your something daily that you use every day. I think most other apps or things will fail if you don't become top of mind. Our users every day think about FishBrain. So I think we were in the beginning of FishBrain, we were sloppy. We tried to do too many things at the same time. So we never done any pivots. If you look at the business plan, business plan, nobody writes a business plan these days. But if you look at my slide deck, no more than 10 slides, they would look exactly the same today. Of course it's refined, I know more, and I have more metrics, and I have more proof points, but it will look exactly the same. But I wish we would have narrowed it down and have done fewer things and have done it better in the early days. I think now we spend just as much time deleting stuff in FishBrain as we spend on adding things. And tweaking the UI, UX, that can certainly be improved in FishBrain and things like that.
Right.
And that pays off. So as a philosophy, I want to be focused, have laser focus, and try to be good at that. I'm not good at it, but I'm getting better.
But do you feel that there is, in this FishBrain time frame, the single biggest mistake that took you in some direction that was dangerous?
No, actually not. It's been those. We are, of course, with not just mine, but a lot of people at FishBrain. We are analytical, so it's very hard to know what works. We release lots of things that don't work at all. You believe this is the next big thing, this is a great feature, and then we launch it and nobody uses it.
Right.
Oh fuck. Then I'd go.
Do you have an example?
Yeah. We have a function called fishing trips.
Right.
When people go fishing, they should start logging the entire fishing trip, which makes sense because if you use any fitness app, when you start your exercise, you hit start recording or play or whatever it is. Makes sense. The problem is with fishing, that didn't work out at all because people are so busy. They have so many things going on at the same time, so they forget to start the fishing trip. Even worse, no one turns off the fishing trip because they're so busy. If they have fished, maybe they caught something. They have fish to fillet. They have so many. They have to untackle the rod and stuff like that. So we had those fishing trips going on forever.
Right.
So we had to add, first we are so stupid. I am stupid, I'm telling you. But we had a cutoff at midnight. We assumed that you're not continue to fish beyond midnight. But that's not true because some fishing is done during the night. But in general, we just cut them. So we didn't get very good statistics from that. So we killed that feature. It's a great feature. But this is one of the cases where we fucked up the UI UX.
Right. Yeah.
So we will redo it now in a completely different way, where it's automated that we can actually detect it. Okay, Sam, you're at this Lake Vättern. We can detect that because we know where you are. If you've been either on Vättern or close to Vättern for more than 10 minutes or something like that.
You're there.
If you're a fisherman, it's very likely that you're fishing.
Right.
Then you can say, okay, check in here.
Right.
And then, bam, bam. And then we can also automatically stop the fishing trip because we know when you're leaving.
Right.
So it's a stupid thing. And we thought it would have been a great thing.
Right.
It wasn't.
Didn't fly at all.
No, it sucked.
So on the other side of it, the best feature you added and it just flew off.
One of the things we do, which is very successful and it's growing in popularity, is we are the first one to do a scientific fishing forecast. Every fisherman wonders when is the right time to go fishing if I want to catch a big pike or a big sea bass or something like that. So now we're the first one, because we crowdsource all the information. We have 650,000 logged catches, which is the biggest database in the world of catches.
Right.
And then we actually use some pretty cool stuff, some machine learning.
Yeah.
Actually to crunch the numbers, because on every catch we collect like 15 different weather parameters, air temperature, water temperature, wind direction, wind speed, humidity, tide, current, stuff like that. And then we create algorithms, so we can actually, we look at the 5-day future weather forecast, and we can actually tell you when is the right time to go fishing if you want to catch something big. That's a good thing.
Very, very nice. Are you going to get, like, charge people for that?
Yes. You bet we will.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. The altruistic sound side in me is now also settled that there is some business sense into the world. Look, let's do some crowdsource interviewing.
Sure.
Sounds good. So I have the cheat sheet right here. So the way this works, dear all, I know, is we got a question here. You all see it? Did it get highlighted right there? Because I can't see.
Yeah.
Bunch of head bobbing going on. Very nice. You all look like the people in Finland, by the way, but they would be tall and just blood oozing down the lips.
I didn't see that much at all. 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. Then they were different.
Yeah, they were not at the Atomico party, let's say it like that. So, who wants to call this question that got the most votes of this evening? Who is Mr. Anonymous or Mrs. Anonymous? It's 7:17 p.m. Anybody want to claim it?
No one wants to claim it.
It's not like what you're wearing under your shorts or whatever. Nobody want to claim this famous question that got the best one, because I'm going to claim it. Anybody that voted for it that want to claim it?
It's not me, but I can claim it.
Peter, you're the man. Claim it. You get to be famous on somebody else's amazing question.
Glory, Peter.
Yeah.
So this is what I wonder as well.
But
yeah.
you gotta tell the Startup Leaving who you are.
Oh, of course.
So that all people want to stand up.
Yeah, I should have done this with the open mic thing as well. Well, I'm Peter Kursfelli. I work with G-Lab 21. That's also a co-working space. But we really want to know what we can do to build the startup scene here in Gothenburg. Well, Startup Grind is a fantastic event. It's one of the things that really gathers Gothenburg, but we want to do more. So my request for you guys is to speak to us. Jelena is also in on our project, and we want to do this to support the whole of Gothenburg startup scene. Doesn't matter if you're at Chalmers or if you're here at EHI or if you're one of our companies. We really want to build Gothenburg because we believe that Gothenburg could be the next big thing. We got everything, all of the ingredients here. So a tip from you, Johan. What do you know now that you wish you know before, or you wish you know before you started?
Start as an entrepreneur or start a FishBrain?
Both, actually.
To become an entrepreneur, nothing, because it's you really. I like that you are naive. I think it's the less you know, actually, the better. I seriously mean that. I'm not making this up because it's, as I said before, I'm always skeptical when somebody is very passionate about what they do, because is this a lifestyle business, or is this is a sound business idea? But FishBrain, absolutely. I wish I knew how hard it is to build a social network, how brutal it is to become a winner. We're on a good path, but it's when everything you read on the web is so screwed. It's because first of all, you only hear about the winners. On every winner, there are 999 losers. You never hear about the losers. You only hear about the winners. And then it's so easy in retrospect to create a story. We started here, we did everything digitally, and then boom, we were a huge success and we sold for a gazillion. So you only learn that by actually meeting with the people that built this. So if you meet with Daniel at Spotify, he goes through the details he's done to create Spotify big. It's not easy. Same with a lot of the other social networks, there are a lot of small things you have to execute and execute really well on. So I wish I knew a little bit more about about that before starting FishBrain. I would still have done it, but it's that would have been a good learning to know some of the pitfalls and things. But still, this is again when you build a social network, the devil is in the detail. So even though they built something fantastic at Facebook or Path or Etsy, they created a beautiful vertical for handicraft, which was on the list of Forbes list of the most popular sports hobbies in the world. They were number 7 or 8. They created a marketplace, first a social network for community, for handicraft. Then they built a marketplace on top of that. They took everything that was sold on eBay onto Etsy. They IPO'd last year, $1.7 and $1.8 billion valuation. They've done a fantastic job. But there are so many details. How do you get that going and everything? I've learned some from them. It's not easy. So it's you actually have to work, huh?
And fishing was before handicraft on the list, right?
Yeah, fishing was number 1.
Yeah, so you're going to be bigger than Etsy.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. The next question. Who wants to introduce himself and ask and claim the amazing question?
I think you know me by this time. All right, so my question is, what was the first pitch for FishBrain? What was the first idea? How did you pitch it?
That was actually on Slush. Because we managed to win the pitching competition as Slush pre-product, basically everything. We were just the 3 guys. It was me and the other 2 guys from Gothenburg. And that was it. And then just me pitching. That was the first official pitch.
Was it like a 5-minute pitch or?
No, it's you got 3. First of all, there were 3 minutes, and then you had to qualify, and it's pretty brutal process. So you had to pitch against competition, some batches, and then there's a winner. But then when you were on main stage, I think you got 5 or 6 minutes, a little bit longer.
So channeling back Johan from 2013.
Yeah, what was the pitch about? Like, what did it sound like? What did you say?
First of all, I always use that it's such a huge market, and that people are really want to brag about their catches. So, because changing people's behavior takes forever. FishBrain, it's a behavior that people already do. They take a picture because they practice catch and release, or just because they want to brag about it, even if they keep the fish. So we're not changing a behavior, which investors love, because that's take forever and cost even more than what we burn in FishBrain. And then it's also such a huge market. And you always need to back things up with facts, not saying, oh, this is the biggest, everyone tells this is the biggest, and it's such a big market. But you can actually have some facts to back that up with. So not changing your behavior, great team, serial entrepreneurs. So yeah, that's basically it. Big market, great team, and something that could potentially be big, and that it's global.
Thank you. Good. Thank you. Very nice. All right, we got the next question. Who wants to claim this one? What do we got?
I think that's
Jawohl.
Jawohl.
Okay, so I didn't introduce myself before. My name is Jonas Carles. I work at a startup called My Subscriptions, or Mina Tjänster, which is basically managing all of your subscriptions. You can slide on and slide off subscriptions like Spotify and Netflix soon, when we talked. Yeah. What social network would you start today? Which target group?
The question is really, what should he do in 2 years?
Just saying. It's like the 3rd meeting he wants with you.
So yeah, it's within FishBrain we will never do anything else than fishing. We will never do anything else here, but never do anything else, because when you do something deep, you better have the best experience. So we should just invest in getting better experience, broaden the use cases and everything. We really want to own the vertical. I don't read a lot of management literature because it's mostly BS. But when you read a book from Peter Thiel is actually pretty smart. He has a book 0 to 1. When he actually goes through the importance of actually dominate the space you're in, what does it really mean to dominate a space? Then you realize it's better to stay in something that is big and dominate that one. So at FishBrain, we will never do anything else than fishing. Of course, we want to dominate it globally. We want to be first biggest in the States, then biggest globally. But besides that, on the list of the top 10 hobbies in the world, bird watching was on the list. I think that was number 3. I know nothing about nothing, but bird watching, it's very big and it's global. Similar dynamics. People want to brag about the birds they see. They take pictures. First of all, this is very good because they take pictures. And everything, if you want to create a social network, you better make sure that you have stunning the audience that vertically you're after, that they take either pictures or record videos. Because if you don't have that, there is no way you can get virality. You can never build a social network with just text. Look at the old forums from early 2000. None of them are alive. The web is dead, but also the text is dead. Now it's crazy at FishBrain that we don't support video. Of course we should support video, and that's coming early next year. So it's because now the bar is video, not images anymore. So which is great with bird watching. It's they take stunning pictures.
As you see, he's already moving, fading out the room.
Should you subscribe? Bird watching.
Alright, okay, let's go for the next one. Alright, who wants to claim the next one? ML, who are you? Here you are. Hello.
So, I'm Maria Laura, and together with my co-founder Ursula, we run heybarn.se, which is the bridge between parents and children's activities. And we are sitting at the Chalmers Innovation Camp right now. So, my question to you is, what does a startup have to have, or what do you look for in order to invest?
Number 1, 2, and 3 is the team. I never invest. If I do angel investing, I never invest unless there is a good team. That's number 1. A great team can accomplish great things because it's the original business idea. It's super rare that it actually becomes the idea. I think FishBrain is the exception. We're still executing on exactly the same idea. But most companies, they pivot, and if you have a great team, you'll find a way to make it happen. It won't necessarily be the thing that you started off with. You sidetrack, you do something else, or you pivot, you iterate, you learn. But if you have a great team, I would never invest unless you have a brilliant team, not a good team, a brilliant team. And there's not a lack of ideas out there. There are so many ideas. I think I have a bucket list of a lot of ideas. It's just the time is the limiting factor. So it really comes down to execution. You need to, if you have a brilliant idea, good. Maybe that's 2, 3, 4, 5%. The rest is execution. And who executes? The team. So having a great founding team, very important. But also the first hires you do. Make sure that they are as good as you are, or even better. I've always hired smarter people than myself, which is not so hard. So it's the team.
Amazing. Got it. Yeah.
All right. And then, sorry, I can talk fair, but then I would never personally invest in unless there is a global market, because if I don't see that you can become the dominant player in your given vertical, in your niche, I will never invest. Because there's long term, if you're 10 companies, 20 companies competing, no good. In the long run, no good. You have to be the winner. And that's the case with FishBrain. If we don't become the number 1, we will lose. We will go bankrupt. We will be out of business. So we have to be number 1.
Right.
I think that's true for. It's really true with social networks.
Yep.
Very much true. But I think it's true in many businesses, not just social networks.
Yep. Cool. Good. Okay. Who's got next? Home slice in the corner.
Hi, my name is Sam, and I'm a student at. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
I'm a student at Chalmers University. I'm here with my colleagues, or my future colleagues, Miranda and Marcus. We're an early startup company called Subfinder, and the reason why I'm not revealing too much is because the reason why I had these questions. So, how do you pitch an idea without revealing too much?
Oh, I think that's so wrong at so many levels. I don't like sugarcoating. I would never, if someone approaches me and say, I have this, but I won't tell you what it is. Okay, come back when you can tell me. Because it's so little in the idea and so much in the execution. So it's, sorry, I will not talk with anyone and say, okay, I have this brilliant idea, but I won't tell you what it is. That can be true if you're in the pharmaceutical, if you have the next cure for cancer or something like that. Absolutely, make sure you have the patents and everything. But if you're in high tech or something like that, no. Be open with it, and as early as possible, because then you will get feedback from smart people and everything. It's and I'd say if you go to any investor and you try to be secretive or try to get them to sign an NDA, no one signs an NDA anymore. I would never sign an NDA, never. And the investor never signs an NDA anymore. So it's, but if you have the cure for cancer, be very secretive with it. Don't tell anyone else.
It isn't the cure for cancer.
Then tell about it. Got it. Good? All right.
Who claims the next one? You're like a topless together today, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I won't say anything else. What did you learn from a biking career that is useful for your entrepreneurship today?
To be resilient and to fight when it's really hard and keep doing it. You won't win every day. You're running a company, a startup, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. There are some really bad days. There are some super tough days. You have hard times. People quit, and you lose customers. You get some. When you have 1.5 million users, if you have a server downtown, which happens, people are not very happy. That's not a bad day. That's not a good day. So I think you learn to stay in there and keep fighting. Don't give up. It's tough. Running a startup is darn hard. It's not easy. I think that's the problem today. There's a little bit too much hype around being an entrepreneur. It's not. It's brutal. It's hard. It's not easy. I think it's much less glamorous. There are exceptional days though. But in general, it's not at all glamorous. You work lots of times. You put in lots of time. You don't get a high salary. You can easily get a much higher salary somewhere else. But you have a passion.
Good. Sophia, this one.
It's the same question as he asked.
Nonetheless, though, so because it could be tweaked. I
can have a different answer this time.
I am interested in the question, so would you mind posing it and we can play?
All right.
All right, thank you so much.
Who are you?
Tell the world who you are.
I am Sophia from Charmas Ventures.
Hey!
And my question was the same, really, as Jonas had, but what other vertical would you take on when it comes to building a social network?
Right,
you want to change your answer?
No, so,
apart from bird watching.
Yeah, I can add to the list.
No, but
there's one big hobby is cooking, and of course there's a lot of communities and apps for cooking, but there's no one yet who has won that market. Still up for grab. There's competition, absolutely, but there's no winner there yet, and it's a huge market as well. Someone that wins the cooking market will be rich. It's a hard one, but it's certainly up for grabs.
Yeah. See, you shake it and then things come out. Okay, I think we can at least we'll make sure to get 2 more. So the next one, who wants to pose?
is Jacob, and my friend here, Adrian. We are making an app. Our idea is to make it easy for people to rent and borrow stuff from each other. And also I'm a graphic designer, so of course I want to know how important do you think design looks are for an app or startup?
It's way more important than most people think. I would say it's critical these days. If you have it's critical if you have a consumer play, which FishBrain is, because it's as I said before, we launch features that are technically I think we have the right features, but we screwed up the UI UX. So it's and it's getting increasingly important by the day. Because with the increasing, there won't be less competition. There will be more and more competition because more people are getting into this and starting. The bar is lowered for releasing apps and stuff like that. So I would say that it's increasingly important to have a brilliant UI UX. I think this is actually one of the things where I would say that we are better in Scandinavia than in Silicon Valley, because we have this heritage in Scandinavia. We have brilliant design. Danish, Finnish, Swedish. We have some good designers. We're known for good design, and we have some developers that are also very good at design. So I think it's this is one of the areas where we are actually way better, much better than our counterparts in Silicon Valley, and that matters today, big time. So when you I would actually go that far. So if you have a consumer play. And someone was asking about what's the most important thing in the early days. I said that's the team. I want to design as put that skill as part of that. Not just having. You need someone that's really good at tech, CTO, some architects, make sure that you build a good system. But you also need, if you're a consumer play, stellar design. I think it's also true. Not just for if you're having a consumer app, but also if you have a business-to-business solution, if you design a software service for enterprises. Because today it's consumerization. Everyone now, or more people expect to have the same experience as at work as they have on their iPhone or on the things they do at home or on their spare time. So it's very important. Very, very long way of saying it is very important. Got it. Yeah? Yes. Oh, we just got one that's printed to the top. So, you just got a bonus vote. Who claims this good one? All right. In the back, we got a mic.
Where is it?
We got the mic.
Hello, my name is Per Anders. I am a designer at a small consultancy firm here with my colleague Andreas. We mostly design apps for iPhone and Apple Watch. I ask you this question because it's very difficult to retain users, but it's fairly easy to get downloads because people are curious. Over to you.
First of all, it's absolutely true. I think the winner will be the one that not just gets users, but actually can keep them. And I think that goes back to what I was saying before. You need to become the one that users use every day. I think initially we had the idea of FishBrain. We would define if everyone uses or our users uses FishBrain on a weekly basis, not on a daily basis, because normally our users are fishing during the weekends. So we were thinking it's fine if they check it out where to go and the social part on the Friday, then they go fishing on a Saturday or Sunday. But now we want to become the daily app. I think that's the trend you're seeing. The winners in this industry, social networks, apps, platforms, are the ones that are used on a daily basis. And of course, there's a reason that you have super high valuations for messaging apps, because they have the best retention in the industry. So it's retention matters. That's That's the #1 metrics at FishBrain. That's the one we're tracking the most. You can always get users. It can be how expensive it is. It varies with time of the year and how stiff the competition is and which markets you go after. But the retention is what really makes you the winner and not the loser. So it's absolutely.
All right. So we got the last question of the eve. And who wants to claim the last question? Are you talking? Nice. Pose a lot of questions. Good job, man. You got votes too.
Somebody else can take it.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get deep now. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so the true answer. Even if it's hard. Okay, deep. How do you take care of relationships outside work when you work 80 hours a week?
It's a tough one.
I can see that.
Yes, there's no easy answer for that, and I don't think there's one answer that fits everyone. I try to be, when I'm with family, I try to be with family. It's easier said than done. But now I'm trying not to read emails in the morning. First time I did before, when I woke up, bam, I was on email. And the last thing I did before I hit bed was bam, on email. Now I try not to read emails, and every time I'm not traveling, of course I'm traveling a lot, but when I'm not traveling, I try to avoid breakfast meetings and eat breakfast with family. I try to take, not every day, but once a week or twice a week to take my kids to school. So the morning is very important for me because it's hard to, especially now that we have most users in the US and everything, I have a lot of evening meetings. So it's hard to keep to spend the evenings with family. But so mornings are sacred at home. I also try to log off during the weekends. Of course, I am checking emails and stuff like that during the weekend, but I try to be as much off as I possibly can during the weekend, so you get some quality time. But of course it's a tough question. It's really hard. It's not easy.
But that was just the family part. The question is about all relationships outside work.
I would say the brutal answer is you have to cut. You cannot have lots of friends because there's not enough time in the day, time in the week to have too many friends. So we try to have deeper relationships with fewer people, and really maintain those relationships and nurture those relationships instead of having a lot of them. Have fewer, but take care of those ones. My family is super important for me, so it's at least once a quarter we go there, and then I completely shut off. I'm there, I see my parents, bring the kids, bring my wife, and I love outdoors, so you go out there and really try to shut off when I'm there. But the brutal thing is you have to cut. You cannot just add. So, yeah.
Thank you for being so honest.
Very good. All right, so that was the last question. The next one is more of a statement. It's congrats to you. With that said, I agree.
So I still have a lot of things to prove, though.
Yeah.